Men's basketball head coach Suzy Barcomb. Coach, first of all, how are you?
I'm great. It's great to be here. 4th year. Just love it. And it's sunny out.
It is sunny. You are missing the snow. It's supposed to come tomorrow. So
I know.
I'm a little jealous.
Yeah.
But like you said, 4th year, this is your first group to go through you completely. What do these seniors mean to you?
Oh, I just told someone else in one of the other rooms, it's your first recruiting class when you're coming into Seattle University, and these young women, they started the new trend for us, and they've been to the WNIT and they've been to the NCAA tournament, and they have a WAC tournament title. So I just think that they've given so much in their 4 years here to not only our program, but all to the new people that are coming in now and setting the tone of this is what it's like to be a Red Hawk.
The leadership from those girls, how are you seeing it go down the ladder to each class?
Oh, every single year. They just, whether it's the junior year giving down to the sophomore year, now we have, Janessa, who is a 4-year point guard. She's working with a freshman point guard to help her get up to speed. JoJo, who is now working with all these freshmen or in young posts so that they understand how it needs to be in the inside post play, that the paint is yours. So, and then just the subtle things about walking around campus. This is who you are. You represent the name of the jersey in the women's basketball program.
Joanna, she was the rebounding leader for your team last year. Do you think we can expect even more out of her now with her senior year?
I sure hope so. I mean, that's the plan. I think Joe's last year clearly was the best one she's had yet. She had a little bit more focus, and I think this year she really understands how important her role is in order to stay out of foul trouble and what she can provide both as a leader on the floor, but then as a leader on the bench when her sub comes in for her.
Injuries played a big part in last year's season.
Womp, womp, womp.
How is the team looking and feeling now?
It's the first time we're healthy. I mean, it's amazing. We have 16 people on the floor. Injuries last year destroyed us. They really were, and it was just the key players too. Kinsey's back. Full speed ahead. Courtney feels really, really healed up from her injury. Joe had some shoulder issues. I mean, poor Kamara had 2 different concussions. So everybody's back, happy, healthy, and we're just really looking forward to the year.
How do those hardships transfer over into hopefully a positive note for this year?
I think what it is I think if you can get through a year like we had last year with everything really that could go wrong, I don't know how many teams could go on the road their final 2 games of the league and win. So we did that, and I thought going on the road and winning those 2 games, and then we almost had UTRGV in the first round. I think that it just shined a light on what we're capable of, and then we have 4 red shirts coming in. So I think there's a lot of positives that are happening for us. So I don't know so much if we're built positive from last year. I think we're building positive from summer workouts and fall workouts now.
I mean, it's got to make you pretty happy that your team has so much heart, though, to go and win those last couple of games.
Without question. And I think that's something that not many teams could do, as I said before, but also the fact that they played so hard for each other. I don't really think we gave in any game. I just think that they stayed connected, they stayed united all the way through it, and I think that really built a very, very strong bond among us.
Well, Coach, I will now pass you off to
Sure.
the media.
Happy.
Coach, you talked about kind of the strong play at the end of the year, getting wins at CSU Bakersfield, Grand Canyon, playing UTRGV tough at the tournament. How were you able to take that momentum into the offseason, and how's that going to help you this year?
Well, I think for us, what we knew what was being redshirted, so we understood that Kinsey was going to be back healthy, and we have 3 other red shirts, and so that with the graduation and the 2 graduates who left, I think for us, we knew we were not that team last year. That was just the environment, the effects of the environment impacting how we were playing. That wasn't a Suzy Barcomb coach team. That wasn't who we really are. That wasn't our true identity. So for me, I think it was really easy for us to shake that off. I shouldn't say easy. It was difficult to shake it off, I'll be honest with you. But they did a really good job, and we gave them a little bit of extra time in the spring, and they came back with such renewed energy in the spring. And then we just did a lot of things different in the spring workouts and in summer workouts. But also the energy of having 16 people on the floor for workouts is exponentially better than having 10 healthy bodies on the floor. And you can just do so many different things with 16.
Suzy, Kyle McDonald with Whack Hoops Digest. I had a question and now it's gone. Have you changed up your workouts so that you don't have that injury bug hit again, or is it just now that they're healthy, you're back to what you originally wanted to do before all the injuries last year?
Well, I don't think you can really. Women have ACLs. It's what we were given because of our hips, and so we can do some preventative things, which we've always done. And for me, with Kinsey, I just think it's very surprising that she did that, just because of her build and she's a little gymnast. And then Courtney's was a freak accident. So it's just one of those things. But what we did, what we're doing this year, we just changed up our weight person, strength and conditioning, Jennifer Peterson. She sees it all, she charts it all, and we're just lifting a little bit different and working on some mechanics in hopes of straightening out anything. I also think the stronger you make them, and when you start tapering them, it helps them out. And I think we tapered a little bit too soon last fall.
Coach, Kamira Sanders was a preseason all-WAC selection by both the coaches and the media. What do you expect from your senior leader this year?
I expect Kamira to play as though she was the sophomore. I think, again, Kamira did not have a Kamira-like season. I think it was really hard on Kamira to carry the load because we had so few people helping her out. She can really play, and I think she'll get back to her old self this year. So I think she has really grown exponentially with her leadership and her voice. She's learning how to lead. She's never been a leader. She's always been a leader of, this is my work ethic. She hasn't had to lead with her voice, and that's what we're asking her to do. So Kamira's going to be on point this year. There's just no questions about it for me.
Joanna had a chance to play for the Portuguese national team over the summer. What did that experience mean for her? And was she able to bring anything new back that will help your team?
Well, I think anytime you can play for your country, there's a great deal of pride involved in that. And then the fact that she was also able to train with people she had possibly looked up to as a younger individual. And what I asked of her is that she become a listener when she was there. I asked her to listen to what the leaders were saying and how they were delivering the message. Clearly you get better because you're playing better competition. And they did something they have never done before either in winning the game. So it was a win-win in that regard. And I think Jo grew. She matured because she saw of what she can become by looking to the leaders of the team there.
One of the benefits of being coach for a few years is you get to build your own non-conference schedule in terms of getting those contracts, and you're not going off somebody else's home and home. What was your philosophy when building your non-conference schedule?
This year?
Yeah.
So for this year, when we first got in, we were returning contracts, so it was a little bit difficult. Our idea of last year of playing 3 Pac-12s, that wasn't our idea. That just happened. So what we tried doing, we will always try playing UW, and we want to make that a rivalry, and the way to do that is win. So that would be our goal there. But also, we travel, quite honestly, so much in the WAC. We try having our trips be closer, and then we want to go down to where the student athletes are from. But also we want to be playing like institutions, and we want to be playing people that are in the Big West or the Mountain West, on the West Coast Conference. That's always our goal, to play those types of institution. Do we look at RPI? Yes, we look at RPI as well. Do we look at win-loss records? Do we look at how can we gain some success early? Yeah, that we do that as well. So for us, we started new contracts. We're on the road for our first 3 games, and then we're at home for a greater portion then of November, December. And that will be really beneficial to our student athletes.
What's the thought about the non-conference, to use that as a growing, I guess, a stepping stone to prepare you for the WAC? Is it a way to measure where you're at this year, and what are your thoughts about the team's record last year and how they will respond to what happened with all the injuries last year to this year?
That was a 3-part question, I think. I'll try answering it. So the WAC plays different types of basketball, and so we want to make sure that in preseason we're going up against a couple different dribble drives. We're going up against somebody who has a very dominant post player, that we're going against someone who runs, 400 sets like JC does at UMKC. So we're trying to make sure that we're getting bits and pieces of the WAC every single time we're playing. How will our team respond? That was a 2, and it's not our team. And what I'm saying is we've added so many new people. This is like a brand new team to us. So the redshirts didn't experience only winning 2 games. They felt it, but they didn't experience. And what they're going to bring to the floor is going to be very, very impactful. I hope I answered all 3 parts.
The season looks to be fairly open in the WAC. What will it take to get to the top and win a title?
I think my very first year you guys asked me that question, and I said by looking at it historically, it looks like you got to be able to win at UTRGV and New Mexico State. I just think you have to protect your home court the best you can, and you've got to go out and you have to steal games. I mean, now we're throwing in Cal Baptist. I wasn't surprised by their performance last year. I played them when we were in the Division II, and I knew what they were going to bring to the table. So now you're adding another high-quality team, and then you're going to add Dixie as well. So you have to protect home court like anybody does in their league, and then you have to win the games you're supposed to win on the road, and then grab 2 steals. And that's how I always try doing it.
Alrighty, Coach. Well, best of luck protecting that home court again this year, and we appreciate your time.
I appreciate you guys having me once again.
Alrighty, next up, we've got one of the new Utah Valley head coaches. Stay tuned.